Welcome to grade 7. Just kidding. It's a review, though, of what you learned not too long ago, but probably long enough that you forget most of it. So, section 3 for grade 10 in the bio unit is all about plants. Okay, some of the basics just have to do with knowing the difference between which way is up and which way is down, which one's roots, which one's shoots. Okay, so let's take a look at things we need to know for growing our food. We might think, yeah, plants are boring, but we eat them. Our food eats them, right? If you like beef and chicken and pork, right? They're often plant eaters, right? They're herbivores. So we need to make sure our plants survive, and we need them for photosynthesis to reduce global warming, climate change. So a lot of this is huge. Okay, I'm going to let you pause this for a second and you label the parts. Ready? Go. Good job. So, the roots, that's at the bottom. What are the roots' job? To absorb water and nutrients from the soil. Very good. Do plants all need soil? No. Okay, soil definitely helps them grow, and it definitely helps anchor the roots into the soil. It gives a place for it to hang on to, and the roots also help hang on to the soil, so that there's less erosion. But it can usually start to grow in a paper towel with some water. Okay, so we'll give that a try. Next, you have the stem. So we need the water and nutrients to get up the plant, okay, through a tissue called xylem, which we haven't got on this list, but that's all right. Then usually these green things, people know what those are. Okay, they're leaves, and it does most of the work on the plant, right? So that's where photosynthesis happens, cellular respiration happens, and sometimes they fall down in the fall. Transpiration takes place. Okay, they've got a pretty special job. Sometimes they get eaten. Okay, and some plants have adaptations where they taste gross, so they don't get eaten. Okay, so far we've got roots at the bottom, stem, leaves. Okay, then you have a flower. Okay, they have a very important job. That flower's job is to reproduce, okay, and attract pollinators. So we need flowers to be a certain color, to have perfume, to have all the reproductive structures in there, to make sure that they're able to make seeds for the next plant. Okay, not all plants have seeds and fruits. Okay, well, they all have seeds, but they don't all have fruit. Okay, some like pine cone trees, they have different structures. Okay, and even though this is like a bean, okay, we say that that's the fruit because it's the casing around the seeds. Okay, a couple other words that I want to throw at you now, just so that you have heard them before. One is gravitropism. That's movement towards or away from gravity, so positive towards gravity, like the roots. Negative gravitropism is away from gravity, so like the stem. Then we also have phototropism. Photo meaning light, tropism moving towards. So what's going to move towards the light? The leaves. Right, so you're going to show me that in one of your little experiments. Okay, why is there a picture of an iceberg? Because a lot of the plant can be underground. Okay, cacti, not so much. But if you tried to pull up a tree by the roots, you would find that the tree's roots are actually quite deep. Things like carrots, very obvious that root, the carrot is a root, by the way. So if you're like, I'm going to eat some roots today, you might be eating carrots or turnips or beets. Beets are delicious. Okay, so quite a bit of the roots can be underground, just like an iceberg. Right, what is the purpose of, what are we talking about? Oh yeah, roots, we're still talking about roots. Okay, their job is to absorb water and nutrients from the soil. Okay, how do they do that? Osmosis through semi-permeable membrane. Good job. Okay, we'll spend some more time going through what that is. What's the point of the plant? To make sure it doesn't blow away, right? Sometimes it's really windy, okay, when there's a hurricane, so our poor little palm trees, they need to not blow away in the wind. Sometimes they do. right, or they break off. And they also can store food in them. Yeah. Okay, here's our diffusion and osmosis. The explanation I've used my whole life is the concept of Axe body spray. So when people put on perfume, okay, it's very highly concentrated where the person puts the perfume on, but then it spreads out throughout the room. Okay, if you put some food coloring in a glass of water, that spreads out. Okay, so you can heat that up to make it happen faster. You could stir it. You can put on a fan to increase the speed of diffusion. But the main point of it is that particles move from high concentration, so where there's lots, to low concentration. And it doesn't take energy. Okay, that's diffusion. And you're thinking, well, what's osmosis then? Okay, osmosis is diffusion of water. Okay, so osmosis, water, osmosis, water. Okay, glue those together in your brain. Okay, look at this cool little picture. It shows the little dots of pink water, okay, and they're going into the plant. Okay, that's what they're for. So let's connect them here. Okay, so diffusion is little dots spreading out. Okay, in this one, diffusion is the little dots going into the roots. Okay, so you need more surface area. So all these little tiny roots and root hairs, there's another word, root hairs. Okay, those help absorb more water. Okay, a whole bunch of little itty bitty, they're not branches, they're roots, root hairs. Okay, those absorb more water than the big branches could by themselves. Okay, so see, watch, they're just going not in the roots yet, more in the roots, more in the roots. Ta-da! Okay. Other pictures you'll see quite a bit for diffusion look like this. Okay, so you have water moving from an area of lower concentration to high, right? You want to balance out the solutes. Okay, these little yellow dots are showing solutes. Okay, and then you want the solvent, the water, to go towards, to balance that out. Okay, to balance out the concentration. Okay, so there's different types of roots depending on where you live. If you live in rocky soil, okay, it's pretty hard to bust down into those rocks. Okay, so they tend to have shorter roots, and hey, guess what? They can only get so tall. Okay, rainforest, lots more soil and humus. And what's humus? Humus is rich soil with lots of decomposing plants and bugs. Okay, so they are going to have a lot more established root systems. Okay, and if you watch shows like Avatar, they're like, oh, all the trees are connected. And I've read some articles that where that idea comes from. Okay, there's fungi that, like fungi, you know, fun people, no, fungus like mushrooms, that connect the roots of the plants. And there's chemical signals that can pass from one to the other. Okay, so we're not too sure exactly how they talk or how they communicate, but there is something going on in the roots of the forest. So when you grow up, you can do more research on that and come back and tell me all about it. Okay, tap roots. Hey, whoopsie! Oh man, I forgot people's names in that.